How are you doing that with the way you're sitting on the chair? How are you doing this? Alright guys, we are back with Ace Attorney. Here we go. It is currently May 30, 2022, 1:53 a.m. I just woke up. I know I can't go back to sleep, so I'm just gonna play. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. It's just the way it is. In order for him to get the verdict he deserved, we had to do what we had to do. I bet she's being like blackmailed. I bet that whoever really killed him is blackmailing her. So she has to say this. She's probably trying to protect Emma. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was the Joe Dark killings. So she's the news. Okay. It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last name last victim was Neil Marshall. On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark, he tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother Neil was only trying to save me. So that means I was a witness to the Joe Dark. Wow. It happened 2 years ago. Then he showed up. I mean, he looks like a serial killer. Jake Marshall's brother showed up to save you? I remember the moment Drake's Dark stabbed Marshall. He was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why Lana, why she made up the crime. The prosecutor's office wanted the guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Permanent picture. What did you see in the instant the crime occurred? Which one is which? Oh, okay. Dark knocked down Marshall and raised his knife. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. I don't remember what happened after that day. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma, you've been through so much. Why are you by yourself? I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago, you must have been 14. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I wanted to be able to fight crime with my testimonies. Find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way Lana would never have to forge it. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. There's something puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at the time? Why would a serial killer come running in there? No mystery there. Taking it for questioning. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled to my sister's office. Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force. What am I doing looking at this? What? After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Well, we know that now. Let's go talk to Lana. Oi, oi! Lana, Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence? I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul, why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh, how about how you were detected 2 years ago? And how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. Could you fill me in on the details, especially about that unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have a right to know. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one over 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen. Okay. That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believe in you, Lana. I believe that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. Couldn't it be helped, Emma? At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. The fact of the matter is, at 5:15, there was no murder in the police department. Tell me that's not true, Lana. Lana, I don't understand. Why don't you tell us? Emma, this is all just... I knew it. She's being blackmailed. Oh, no. Oh, I didn't mean to press that again. Detective Lana Sky, it's true, I was a member of the force, blah blah blah. I bet you did it, Gant. Big man, big boy. He was a deputy chief of police, but he still worked at crime scenes. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. Dude, Gant did it. I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes so you could use that experience in court. Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation. Dark investigation. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant. Yes, Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. We led a team of the best detectives on the force. So, Angel Starr, Marshall, and Goodman. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. And then Joe Dark immortalized him. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. The first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down and fled to the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana? It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. Oh my god. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. Why are these in black and white, man? I can't use these for thumbnails, because they're black and white. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark getting hurt a minor concussion and lay unconscious. To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her after all her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest, and let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident. That's right, quite a coincidence. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in the incident. Just by chance. There we go. That's the important part. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall, yes, his actions came as a surprise. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself, the Chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the Chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. Alright, nice talking to you, Emma. Oh, here's Marshall. Howdy, Bambino. Never thought things would turn out this way when I woke up this morning. Que sera, sera, you never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambino? I should have known my luck had ran out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy. Must be his pet cactus. Headed over to the office for some interrogation, some voluntary appearance. We all know I won't be coming back. Let me just... Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prospectors head west? If there ever was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Something was fishy about the trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean, fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent. Murder weapon. Dark explanation. Autopsy. A question was raised. Question. The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means that there was a good chance the knife was not the murder weapon. In the report that was finally submitted, the possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? That case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SL9 incident left behind. Prosecutor Marshall. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he, your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the very highest honor that day. That award thing, yeah. Senior prosecutors. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day the SL9 incident took place, it wasn't the same day as... That's right, it was the day of the evidence transfer. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Goodman was murdered and the evidence locker was empty. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. Today? What are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambino. I mean, Damon Gant, Lana Sky. Gant and Sky. There was a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, became the chief prosecutor. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Sky was totally different when she was a detective. Now that she mentioned it, Emma said something. Bro, Gant is like doing stuff, man. Like, he's like holding her hostage or something. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence to plan everything. Yeah, I knew it! Dude, Gant is shady, man. Let's go! What kind of Castlevania villain room is this? What kind of evil supervillain room is this? This man has a pipe organ. Full-on pipe organ reaching to the ceiling. They used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Miss Bach. That was genius. Wow. I never could remember where C was. Oh my god. Oh, it's you too. Hi, Gans. Put that paper's reading this down. So, righto, you've been swimming lately? I appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct. This guy's the villain. Provocative statement. Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall? That was a picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall. Weather Prosecutor Neil Marshall, took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this bit. Look at that! Look at that knife! Look at that jar behind them. That's the same jar we saw. There's a sharp thing in front of Lana and a jar behind Lana. That's the jar that we saw. They took that over there. I can see the armor with the knife right behind him. I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go together. It was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? The case has long since been over. He's trying to, like, brush past this. He's hiding something. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it. Hurry up and get out. I have meetings to attend. It seems that case isn't over yet after all. Yeah, dude, Chief Gant, you're mad suspicious, dude. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around there. You mean like a clue? Let's try this again. Hey, yo, Gumshoe! I'm taking a breather. My feet hurt from sitting so long. Actually, from serving everyone coffee. That's mean. Have either of you seen Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court. Sounds serious. Because of what my sister said, that's basically what it all boils down to. The falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Yikes. Why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. And this guy's guilty. So, man, this dude's like behind everything. The whole reason Edgeworth has that notorious reputation is because of this guy. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now with this, are there really so many people who hate him? In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, he's young, and there's no better recipe I know for making enemies. Hey, Dick, keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Seems like you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Edgeworth just might crack. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Yeah, he's like best friends with Edgeworth, even in the games. The only evidence Stark left behind was during his final attack. I mean, when he killed Prosecutor blah blah blah. Yeah. It seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Let's see, I think it has something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forgot. Look, it's all written in there. Okay, Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman, and they made him take a serial killing. On his way home from work, he gets on with his car. And then after that, he was like, dang, that's crazy. I want to kill more people. I like this feeling. He was killed as well. But in the middle of questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim, Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone. He was arrested on the spot. AKA her. You have to show him a murder weapon, right? Show him this. Hey bro, can you look at this real quick? Hey, is that... I believe the murder weapon you broke. Speaking of, blah blah blah. Ever since that case was closed, and I said locked away in a locker. On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker. Was found in Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it. Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget. Oh boy. No. Yeah, look at that. This knife, it was Joe Dark's. That's right, we traced it back to the store he bought it at, plus it had his fingerprints on it too. No one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken. You don't have to take a good look to notice that. Yeah, well anyway, take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in. Where was it? It was in Neil's... Okay. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? Down to the last fiber. It's very conclusive. Switchblade. Belonged to murderer Joe Dark. There you have it. That's all I know. It does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene. Yes? Chief's out now and his office is locked, but we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Well, detectives, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with a breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh, sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. The data was deleted the day he died. Oh. Only one number left to investigate at 4:20 p.m. Detective Goodman must have entered the evidence room along with someone else. Someone with an executive office. It was Gant. 7777777. Was that like 8 sevens? 7 sevens. There he is. Look at him. Wow, what are you doing here? Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? So, what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I do can erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, the evidence was falsified. He didn't know. The police department's error is my error, my responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. The fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have. Mr. Edgeworth, I take pride in my work, so tell me why has it all come to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. His hair in my mouth. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First, last year's trial, and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about it. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow's the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that this case would come back to haunt me. The list of evidence seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect was guilty. It was really the only thing on my mind at the time, alright? That picture, something seems strange about it. Could you tell us about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Did you award this? Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning and drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yeah, it's just odds and ends, clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. It is until I was asked to take something back. That is something in my eye. That is a screwdriver. Oh yeah, Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes, it was a piece of evidence in the case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. You came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to. This picture was hanging on the wall in Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall, he had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. It has a knife. It's different. I mean, it has a sword. I remember now. Remember what? That was what the official trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind this design. A story? Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? Contradiction, that's what the award is based on. What do you mean? What are you talking about? This award originally comes from an ancient Chinese tale. The word contradiction is written with two characters. The first means halberd and the second means shield. Have you heard this story? Why don't you tell it, though, for Emma's sake? Very well. What is going on here? And why do we need to know this? In the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with two items, a sword and shield. A halberd and shield.
Objection!
Those names contradict each other. Yeah, look at that. Very perceptive. Then again, you've heard the story before. Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. Thus, the Chinese word for contradiction was born. That's crazy. So the chipped shield and the broken knife symbolize... Precisely so, they symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this. Wow, so why doesn't yours have a... sword? We'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago he had the halberd part abolished. That kind of ruins the entire thing, doesn't it? Chief asked me to do something. To take evidence from my case 6 months ago, back to the prosecutor's office. That room's always dark and I was in a hurry. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. Hey, Edgeworth. Is that Detective Gumshoe on the window there? Oh no! Letter of resignation. Oh, it is. Resignation, Edgeworth. You don't mean I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died. I know the path I've walked, you don't need to tell me, and the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done, and no one else should forgive me either. I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for anything. He's serious. It's kind of the same. Something else I can do here? Excuse me. Oh, it's Angel Star. Oh, would either of you care for a quarter-pounder roast beef? I wouldn't mind that. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked on a cow's nipple to discover milk. What is going on here? What was that statement? So I thought you'd go digging up that case 2 years ago. Everyone was involved in the SL9 incident. The murder occurred on the very day that the evidence from the case was due for transfer. This can't be a coincidence. You know that little scene I happened to witness? That instant blah blah blah, no matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Miss Star's hatred towards Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. He does not like Lana. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year, oh the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though, must have been going through tough times. They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her, and Sky. The best of the best were put on that SL9 case. Of course, they were led by the legendary duo, Lana and Chief Gant. The legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging of the evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret. But you don't have proof of anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most of us, without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Sky transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears, huh? Lana Sky was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used. Damon Gant and Lana Sky. Okay, we get it. They're a big deal. We get it. Gant led the investigation, with Lana second in command. They were the best. They We solved all kinds of cases together. Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. That's not good. He forged everything. Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked, and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall. When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would ever have recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Starr. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Being used. Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago. Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief. That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control, and then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred? If you control the prosecutor, you can control the prosecutor's office. That's must be his goal. Oh my god, I told you, didn't I? He's like controlling her. There's a reason for her change at last. I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Starr. Oh my god, my shoulder. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be better chef than I've been. Trials, just for the investigations. I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewed coffee copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ. Desk jockey. I'm not letting you in the chief's office, period. It'll be on my neck. It'll be my neck on the line. That office is the last crime scene. I have to take a look in there. Maybe it says to show this. No way! Edward can't be serious. Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they pushed him this far. Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. When I first met him, I thought he was as cold as ice too, but I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence, but we betrayed him. Detective. That's it, I made up my mind. Here, check my ID card. We can't do that. If someone found out, they wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be good as terminated. So at least let me do this for Edgeworth's sake. Bro, Gumshoe, you're the MVP, bro. I love Gumshoe. Gumshoe's a bro. Here we go. Alright, let's go investigate. Oh, he's here. She slapped him again. Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I didn't know you could slap a ghost. Ah, Detective Gumshoe, what are you doing sneaking up on us? I wasn't sneaking, I was just worried something might go wrong, so I came too. If you're here, what's the point of giving us your ID card? Just break his card? You really do... Oh my god. Can't talk to him anymore, right? Oh, here we go. Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana that day 2 years ago. Is anyone using it now? No, this is entirely Gant's office. He leaves it as a word to everyone else. He wants us to always be on alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty drunk at the time. I see. So ever since Lana left, no one ever touches that desk? No one except Chief Gant and the cleaning lady who's in here each morning. Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't be anyone remaining. You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL9 crime scenes. That's your only reason for coming here. Why do you ask? You don't think? Nah, you would. Nah. Hold on, not so fast, buddy. When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go like that. Sorry. You don't think Chief Gant's a suspect? I definitely think that. I think he's the dude. Chief Gant has finally come to this. What do I think of him? I think he did it. Let's go examine this room. Look at this statue. I mean, this armor. Sure as Battle Chief doesn't care for imitations. First the pipe organ, now this armor. You mean we're paying for this? I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes. You have to. Right out, you guys don't know how scary that guy can be. He's pretty creepy. Look at the size of Gant's desk. Oh yeah, he hid something in that desk. A list of evidence. Look at that. SL9. Yep. How about evidence list? Normally they're twice. That's what Edgeworth said. Normally they're twice as long. Chief must be hiding something about that case. Oh, okay, what does that say? What does that say? Oh, it's a drawing. There it is. What is this? Looks like someone so juicy. That's Emma's drawing. Never forget about this picture. Alright. Is that everything? Alright. Oregon. Window. These shelves are mostly empty. Lana must have cleaned them up when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. This is when Lana and I went to that theme park. That's that picture. The day Joe Darkgrin and I have a question here and tried to kill Emma. After receiving his award trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture, then went along with Chief Gant to question Dark. I bet he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. Gee, you think? This was Lana's desk. It sure is tidy. Chief Gant must keep it clean in memory of their partnership. Safe here. If you say so. Looks like the code needs to be entered to open it. 7-digit number. I think I just might know what it is. You know what it is? I have a hunch. Okay. I bet it's that. It's on the list. Look at that. Code confirmed. Let's see what you got. Bingo. That's a bingo. The final ID card on that number record. The number of the 2 mysterious executive officers who entered the room. You mean 77777 or all This can only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number. Say, anyone care to look inside? Inside. My shoulder is really tight. Is there money in there? How much does he have stashed away? Look, it's a shard from a broken cup vase jar thing. We literally have that in our evidence. Leather cloth handprint. Oi! I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design? Oh, it's just a thought. A piece of cloth with a handprint on it and a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. Unless you can prove they have something to do with the case, I'm afraid I can't just eliminate them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Yeah, I can tell you how. I can show you exactly how they're related. Look at that. There. That jar. I didn't even have to look. Remember when the three of us put it back together? Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from the case? Yeah, that's right. One of the shards from an SL9. Yeah. Yep. Why would you keep that, bro? Dude, why would you keep this? Why don't you throw it away? Oh, gee, I wonder if I can just... Wow, that's crazy how that just perfectly fits. Is that blood? Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident. But, hey guys, get a load of this. This piece you just attached. It's different from the others. How so? There's a reddish line on it. A reddish line. Blood. Wait, what? What do you mean reddish line? There's a dark red stain here. There's a dark red stain everywhere. What are you talking about? It's a line. Okay. Alright, Mr. Wright, let's check for prints. Sprinkle powder on the cloth, and once they're absorbed into the prints, the rest will blow away. What was it? Oi, oi! There it is. There we go, that's a print. Whose print? That's your print! Emma, that's your print! That's crazy how that works, huh? How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Seems the prints are too old. You should just tell her, Phoenix. Hey, you, over here. What are the kids' prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from her. You should tell her. Of course you were helpful, man. You're always helpful. In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right? You and the coach? Chief Gant, you didn't think you'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in size. I'm gonna give him a villain voice now. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look at a window and saw a stray dog riding right into a pole. Then I thought of a certain detective. You mean me? No, then. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Oh, you and the coach. Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it. But, sir. Now get out! We'll be on our way too, then. Wait. You, the one without the spiky hair. Emma. I'd like a word with you. But sir, I'm not... You with the spiky hair, you're free to go. Mr. Wright. Look, pal, if I told you once, I've told you 1,000 times, the chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I never would have said it. I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. But why has she kept eerily silent about it all this time? Later, pal. After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. We gotta talk to Lana, man. Yo, Lana, I see. So the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. There's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm convinced of doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I've already told you all I can. No. No, you didn't. I said I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words. Detective Gant. Mia did a good job mentoring you, and might be jealous. Seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth. Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe. Now it's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. See, I said from the very beginning when she was being blackmailed into like stabbing that dude. You insisted you didn't, yet there was no incriminating evidence. Maybe he's using the fact that Maybe Gant is using the fact that he has Emma's fingerprints as a way of making her do stuff. She doesn't want her sister to go to jail. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth, it's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. You think I'm protecting this person? No, afraid of. It's more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, who may I ask is this person you're speaking of? The one You're afraid of him.
Take that!
Well, Miss Guy, you're afraid of Gant, right? Damn it, why are you just looking behind you? How are you doing that with the way you're sitting on the chair? How are you doing this? I think she's still not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth would be brought before a board of inquiry for what he did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Which is a serious offense as 1 years ago that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned. Chief Gant? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was you. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation. Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gant. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in that case. Boom, I was right. I was right. I just found this in a safe in the Chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. The evidences of the SL9 incident, and then Gant was hiding them. Why are you taking all the blame? Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmised, I cannot disobey the Chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder. That's kind of stupid, Lana, don't you think? Come now, Mr. Wright, you can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate in the murder of Detective Goodman. Or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You don't think that's kind of suspicious, Lana? You don't think that's kind of sussy for a official law enforcement person to say? You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected, but despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken, and I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon, you mean Edgeworth's knife? No, when I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it. The knife from the SL9 incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife. I couldn't just leave the knife in him, so I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. Oh my god. I mean, he was already dead. That's right, even though he was already dead. My hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That is messed up. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that's the reason for the bandage on your right hand? Yes, it seems that I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. What's going on here, bro? Okay, so he was already dead? You just, like, put him up like that? What the heck? What's going on? Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly? Dark's knife. It was over with. I didn't want it to be ever opened again. The case. My intent. Why do you keep looking behind you? There's nothing there. That's a wall. You hit Dark's knife. The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it. In Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right, then I called my sister. To tell her what happened and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. I didn't know anyone on the force to, I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma was so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling. The truth is, after I received those orders from Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call to Marshall. The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean, not wanting the case to die, he decided to take it into his own hands? Yeah, he did that whole thing. Oh my gosh. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room. Why? Stop looking behind you. That is such a weird pose. That's all I can tell you. It's weird because she's sitting on a chair. How does that work? You've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now, please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. No, don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to do. Detective Goodman's real murderer was Gant. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago. Oh, it's about to get crazy, boys.